Okay. Yeah. So yesterday we discussed about date. We covered the common clause called date, and we know that date is the deprecated one. Few of the methods as well as the constructor and all are deprecated for the date. So which package should we use for the date and time? The Java has released a package called which package the Java has released? Some time package. Okay. So Java is released. We'll study about it, like what all package did it released. There is a package called java.time where it has few classes which will help us in working with the date, time, and all, right? So last class we studied about epoch, what is epoch, and what are the methods for the date. Now, if we want to format the date, like why do we need to format the date? First of all, in every country, the formatting of date is different. In our country, how do we present a date? Usually, how do we do it? Date, month, and year, right? But in some countries, sometimes it is opposite. They have year, then month and date, and sometimes it is month also. I think month, date, and then year, something like this. So there is different formatting for all the nations, for all the locales and all. Germany, Italy, French, and they will have a different representation of a date. So to support all those representation and all, working in all those representation of date, Java provides us different classes. So we'll study a few of the famous classes. Okay. So let's start with the simple date format class. So the simple date format class, it is present in package java.text. So let's first what I'll do is I'll import one example. Okay. So simple date format class, simple date format, it is present in which package? It is in java.text. So don't confuse it with java.time. This simple date format class is present in java.text package. Okay. This is the class. Now, how do we use this class? Why do we use it? Because it provides us a method for formatting and parsing the dates. Why do we need to pass the date? So we know all the data and all the data, everything in Java, it is represented as an object, right? So either you can have a string object to represent a date, or you can have some date object we studied, right? So there, if you have a string object, you can have something like 01 July 2024, like this, right? But if you have a date object, what you will have? You will have a different fields. You will have a different methods. You can get, like, if you want to get just a month, you can have a method called get month, like get year, get day, get week, get a month, like this, right? So like this, so since everything is in object, so Java provides us this simple date format to convert or parse or to format the different date structure. Okay. So this class, it allows to specify the patterns to format the dates into strings or parse strings back into dates. Why pattern? We have studied, right? Some of the pattern is DD, MM, YYY, and this pattern could be like this also, right? And using both the pattern, that any date object, let's suppose if you're working on date object, they should be same or not? Object should be same. Why? Because both of them represent the same time. Time and day is same, right? Date is same, but just the representation is different for the user. Okay. So that's why it provides a function to format the date into string, because string representation can be different for different locale, or the parse the string into dates object. Okay. Now let's study about different the constructor of this class. One is the default constructor. What does it do? It creates an object using the default pattern and the default locale. So now tell me, what could be the locale? What do you understand by locale? Like in computer, what do you understand by locale? In UI also, you must have heard of locale. So what is locale? Local means local, like locale means in India, USA, okay, Australia, okay. There we call a locale. Like English. English US is different and English UK is different. English India is also different. These are the different locale, right? In some, let's suppose hello. In French, we represent hello by something else. I don't know, like how do we call? You know French? Hello. What do we call hello? Hello. Right. Hello. Hola. Okay. Hola. So right. So you know the simple, and in Hindi we call it namaste. Right. I think Kannada we call namaskara. Namaskara. Right. So the same word has a different representation, string representation, right? For each of the country as well as for each of the state. Hello. Yes. 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 Mhm. No, 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 no concern. No, nothing. Got it. Okay. No, 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 no one. So can we discuss later? I'm in mid of the meeting. Okay. And no concern, right? There is no concern. Like my policy is continuing, right? Okay. You can send me the mail or anything, right? And I'll do it. Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. So, the same meaning, same word and all these are different representation. So we call it a locale. So whenever you create a design, whenever you will create a website, and you will see that this website is only supported in English. And if you create this website for Hindi, you will have a different fonts, you will have a different words and all, right? So that's what we mean by locale. So in the date also, India, the format of time in India is different. It is DDMMYY. In US, it is different. It could be YYYMMDD like this. So that's why we use locale in date also. So with this constructor, we create a format using the default pattern. There could be some default pattern we'll study, and the default locale. How do we create it? We create like this. And also in second, we create a simple date format object by providing a pattern. And what could be the pattern? Like this. You represent date by first a year, then month, and then the day. Here you create a object by providing the pattern as well as the locale. Okay. These are the methods. Let's run the code and understand. Okay. Here, what I have done, I am creating a. If you want, you can also open this thing and run your code into your machine. Here, what I am doing, I am creating an object. Okay, there was some sound. Sorry. Okay. So what I have done, I have created an object with providing what? What I am providing here. What is this? A pattern. So my date should look like DDMMYY and the R month as well as a second. Okay. See, formatter, it will create an object, right? These all are the different fields as well as it will have some method. Now, what I'm doing, I'm creating a date object. Now this default constructor we have studied, what it will give me? It will give me a current date. Okay. Now the current date will be in some format. What does it give? See, current date, if I see the format here, what is this? This is Monday, then month, then date, and then some time zone, as well as year. Okay. Now, what I am doing, I'm calling a formatter. Formatter is with this class and that format. Format, what does it do? It will format the current date. Let's see what it has done. It has converted this current date that is represented by this pattern into what pattern? Into this pattern that we have specified. Yes or no? So here it will convert this date into YYY, MMDD. Then it is an hour, it's a minute, and this is a second. Are you getting it? So we have formatted this date object into the format that we have specified in this formatter class. Okay, you got to know like how do we convert this? How do we convert the different format? We can also have different format here. Like I can just have by MMDD, and this will also work. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm assigning a date to a string. Now I want to create a date object out of this string. So what will I use? I will use a method called parse. Again, a method of simple date format class. I will use parse, which will convert this string into a date object. See, parse date, it will convert the string into a date object. Now I can call different method of this date object. Like if I want get date, this is the get date. If I want day, this is okay. Month is 5, but here it is June. Why it is showing 5? Any idea? Why? Because the month starts from 0. Studied, right? The month starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So so January is denoted by 0. So June will be denoted by 5. Like this. Now we can have different dates. Okay. Parse date will become, this is the parse date. Now, here we have another function called apply pattern. What it will do? The formatter. What is the pattern of this formatter? This complete one with hour, minute, and second also. Now, what I'm doing, I'm converting it into a date, month, and year. So now I have applied the new pattern. Now again format a date with the new pattern. So now what date it will give us? It will give DD, that is the day, the month, and then the year. Okay. Now this parse, what it will do? It will parse. So is this the correct one? See, here what we are doing, the formatter is DDMMYYY, but here in the date we are providing 2024. Is this wrong? Yes, right? So it should throw an exception. So see, there is an exception. Okay. Now there is one more pattern here. What is the pattern? EE, MM, DD, YY, and all. All these are different patterns that we can study. There are lots of patterns. So in here, locale is US. If we want to see how many locales are there, we have multiple locales like English, French, German, Japanese. Do we have Hindi? No, we do not have Hindi. We do not, no one supports Hindi. So when you will start working in company, you should contribute to this class and introduce Hindi for us or another regional language. Okay. So these are the local that is currently supported. Unfortunately, India or any of our regional language is not there. But yeah, that's how you created and simple date format class by specifying a locale also. Okay. Now, what it will do, it will now format the current date according to this format that we have specified. Now let's see what is the new formatted date is. Now, what's the formatted date? It's a Monday, July 1st, then year. Okay. Year, Y is year, DD is date, day, is month, E is day of the week, and then R minute, second, and what is A, whether it is AM or PM. Okay, and it is setting as in terms of US. So time zone, we studied about time zone, right? We have different time zone. What is the time zone of India? IST. And what is the time zone of an IST, right? How do we calculate? We do plus 5:30, right? UTC is 0, GMT UTC is 0. In relative to this, we are 5 hours 30 minutes ahead, right? So like this, we have a different time zone. GMT is Greenwich Mean Time, right? That is the relative, that is the reference, the 0, 1. Where is it situated? Which country? Europe, England. So if you format this in terms of this time zone, so now if we print it, you will see GMT formatted date. Okay, now it has formatted the date from this to GMT formatted. So like this, it has lots of functions. So you will find lots of formatter and all. So you can use this as per your requirement and then convert the date object from string to object and object to string. So that is the use of our simple date format, some of the common methods of simple date format class. Format, what does it does? It takes the date object and then it formats the given date into the specified pattern. Where do we specify the pattern? In the constructor, as well as we can use this method also to set the pattern. Parse, it will take the string representation of the date and then it will convert it into a date. Okay. To pattern, it returns the pattern of the, like, whatever pattern is currently situated, whatever pattern currently is set, it will give that pattern. It will convert it to that pattern. Time zone, you have to set the time zone. Like default is like we have GMT, IST and all, PDT and all. We have to, if we have to set the time zone, it will set that time zone. Okay, so that was about simple date format that we use to format the date. Now another class which we can use to format the date and works with the date is datetime formatter. But before that, we'll study about local date time. Date we have studied. Now, what is local date time? Again, a class. It is a part of java.time package. And it is recently introduced in Java 8. So now if someone asks you whether you should use date, which was released way back in Java 1 or second version, or should you use local date time, which was released in Java 8, which one you should prefer? Which class you should prefer? Java 8 one, because it is the newer one, latest one. It should fix all the vulnerabilities. If there are any issues, the newer class will fix all those issues and it will give us more features, more functions as compared to the older class. So Java local date time, it's again a class. It represents a date time without a time zone. Okay, there won't be any time zone here. And what's the calendar system we use? It use ISO 8601. So it's very in detail. You don't need to remember all those things. That's very theoretical. No one will ask you in your interview, right? It will just, you should have some idea that, okay, we have a class called local date time. If someone asks you, how do you work with a date? You will just say, okay, we have a class called local date time. We have a class called date. We have a if we have to format it between different patterns and all, we have a class called simple date format that we will use. We will use it different function. Okay. So now let's see how many methods does it have. We'll run the code and then we'll check the different methods. Let me run the code for local date time. Okay. So now here, what I'm trying to do, I'm getting a, what do you think what this function is doing? Dot now. Now like implicit, right? Like we are getting the current time. And is this now an instance method or a static method? Instance method. Yes. That's why we have created an object. Have we created an object? How is it an instance method? Have you created an object of local date time? No, right? You are calling a method using a class name. Which method do you call using class name? Static method. Like these are very basic. Come on. We have spent 2 months and still okay. So now it will give us a current time. Okay. We'll call it. And what the current time is? 1st July 1741 12. It is giving us an exact time. What is it? 606 millisecond? Maybe. Okay. Now specific local date time off. Now what this off will give us? What is off is giving us? Huh? Current time? Current time is now, na? What you are passing. See, just if you see this statement, you have to just reverse engineer it. Just decrypt or decode it, just reverse engineer it. See, first of all, what is the return type of this method? Local date time. Yes or no? So it is giving us an object of local date time. Okay. In the off, what we are passing? Year, month, day of month, hour, minute, second. So what it is giving? It is giving this local date time object with this time that we have passed in this argument, right? See, it is giving us a local date time object. So just whatever knowledge you have to just construct it, right? If you don't do it, if you don't analyze it, it will be very difficult for any of the language or any of your code, right? It's simply we are able to see it, right? We are calling, first of all, we are calling a static method, and it is returning us a object reference of type local date time. Okay. Now local date time should point to some date, right? So what is the date here that we are passing in the argument? If it would be a current date, we would have used now, right? If you are passing a year, month and all, then it will give me that date, right? So specific date time, it is providing us this date that we have passed. Now local date time dot parse, what it will do? What it is doing? What is this method type? It is an instance or static? This parse is instance method or static method? Huh? Come on, like we have studied this, right? Like this is the class name. You are calling up a method with the class name. So instance, static, na? Static, guys. It's a class name. What are you doing? No, like static is an class methods, right? How do you access it using class name? If someone questions you and asks you, and then someone tells you like who taught you, like I'll be like, it's very embarrassing for me. Okay, so it's a static method. What we are doing here, we are passing a string, and the date will be of this format, or sorry, it is the date, right? In the string format. What does date denotes? It is 29th June 2024, and the time is 10:15 and 30. So it will create the string and will convert it into a, or will create a, it will take this string and what it will create into? Integer. Where are you finding the integer? It is a local date time object, right? Where is integer here? No? Okay, I'll not ask any other questions like. Okay, so it is converting into a local date time object. Okay, so now if you print this, it will print this uh, time or date that you have passed into the argument. So local date dot off, what it will give us? It will give us a local date class, which represents an year, month, and day. It doesn't have time. It means it doesn't have a time information. Local date means it just have date information, which is year, month, and date. Now local time means it will just have a information of time. What is the time? It will not have information of date. Okay. And the combination of local date and local time would be local date time that we have studied. Okay. So if you combine both date object as well as time object, you will get a local date time object. Okay. So date time formatter that we will study, date time formatter, which is used to format the date. We have a code here. So for now you can skip formatter, forget about formatting. Okay. Now dot plus days. What is now? Now is a current time. Okay. Now what we are doing in the current time, we are adding one more day. Okay. So what day it will show me? 2nd of July. Now dot minus r, what it is doing with the current time, it is minusing 1 hour. If it is 5:45, it will give me 4:45. 4:41. Okay. Why 4:41? Why not 4:45? Because now was created 4 minutes back. Right? We executed it 4 minutes back. Get year, it will get an year, it will get a month, it will get a day of month. Let's print it. It has different methods, which will give you an year, the month, and the day of the month. To local date, it will convert to a local date and to local time, it will convert into a local time. Okay. So date is this and the time is this. Why local? Because it is providing me a time in which time zone? IST. Mine is IST, right? Have I specified IST anywhere? No. So it is automatically getting me a local time and local date. Okay. So that was about local date time. Date time formatter. Date time formatter again, it is in java.time package. With the name, what we can assume that it will format the date time object. It is a formatter for printing and parsing the date time objects. It is thread safe. That means multiple threads can access its objects concurrently. Okay. What are its methods? These are the methods we'll study with the example. Okay, let's debug this. Now, local date time we have already seen. It will give us the current time. Now we are getting a datetime formatter. We are calling this static method, which is providing a formatter object. And the pattern of this formatter will look something like this, where it will first get us year, then month, then day, and then a time. And I want to format this current time in this formatter. Let's format it. What method I am using? The format. And I am passing local date time object. So see, it is, if I print it, it will print the custom date time format like this. This is the format is same, right? Year, month, day, then hour, minute, and second. Okay. Datetime formatter. Here, what I'm getting, datetime formatter dot ISO local datetime. That means it is a static field and I'm getting an object. So if you see this is a datetime ISO local datetime, which is storing a reference of datetime formatter. Okay. So now I am formatting. What I am formatting using this formatter, I am formatting the current time. Okay, there will be multiple formatters. You will use it as per your requirement. You don't need to memorize all of them. So I have used some of the existing formatter, some ISO formatter. I think it is for internationalization standardization format. So let's format the current date based on the ISO formatter. Let's see what does it gives us. So see, as per the ISO formatter, it represents the date in this format. So what is the format? First the year, then month, then date, then what is T? T separates the time. That after T, what will come? A time. It is an hour, minute, second, as well as a millisecond. So there is a difference, right? ISO formatter will format in this given format. Okay. Now I'm getting one more data time formatter object, and the pattern that I should use now will be this. What would be EEE? We have seen, right? What is this? What will it denote? Day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a month. Day, then year, and then PM or AM. It is in US local. So let's format our current time based on this formatter. So what we will get? We'll print it. So we are getting the US formatted date is this day. Today is Monday, then July 1st, year, and the time. Now let's format it in the same manner. See above, first in the same manner, month, day, year, but the locale is now French. Now see how it will format. This is the time formatted based on the friends, right? Monday is called is this, July is Juliet, and the day and this year and all will remain same. But Monday and all, they're called differently in the different nation. Okay. So you have seen what's the purpose of passing a locale. Now, what I'm doing, I'm storing a date time into a string, and then I want to get a local date time based on this string. So what I'm using a parse method from the local date time object, and then I'm passing the formatter here. See. So based on this formatter, it will give me a parse string. So what is the custom formatter here? The custom formatter is this one, where the date should be formatted as year, month, date, day, and then time. Okay. So now let's, if we print it, it will give in the same format. Again, we are now using the time zone GMT. So it will give us in the GMT time zone. So the GMT formatted time would be like this. So you're seeing in the GMT, it is showing 12:18. Why? Because GMT is 5 hours 30 minutes behind our IST. Okay. That's why the time is not 5:53, rather it is 12:18 in the GMT or in the Europe. Okay. So that was about the date time formatter methods. Of pattern, it creates a formatter using the given pattern. We have used this function format. It will format a datetime object into a string. Then parse, it will parse the string into a datetime object, locale. It will give us the copy of the formatter with a different locale. We have seen the French as well as US. Like this, there are multiple locales. Again, with zone, again, it returns a different formatter object with a different time zone. We can parse the text using the query. Like it's advanced, you can skip it, but yeah, you can use this method to parse the text. Text means text will contain the date, time, and all. You can parse it, and then you can get the object. Okay. So yeah, that was all about the date, the classes which you can use while working on the dates. Okay. So yeah. So let's do more exercise in list, set, and map and queue interface. So when we studied about this, see, it was about the collection. So what does interface set? What is the unique feature for this set interface? It will not have duplicate. The list, it can contain duplicate. Queue will, what is queue? Huh? First in, first out. Great. And the map interface is key value pairs, right? So now we'll see the implementation of all of these interfaces. So now each class, there are lots of classes. Let's suppose there is a hash set, there is a linked hash set, there is a tree set, which is implementing this interface. So the common feature between all these three classes would be they won't allow any duplicates. That is a common. But each class will serve a different purpose. We'll study each of the class with an example. We'll study with an example so that you are aware of what all data structure will you use to solve your problem. Okay, because when you'll do some coding exercise or programming, you will use all these classes a lot depending on the requirement. Like if in case your requirement is to store only unique, then you will use some set. Okay, if your requirement is to create some scheduler or some job which should be which should be picked based on the insertion, then you should use queue, because first in first out. If you want to store some key value pairs, like some information, okay, against this object I want to store that value, what data structure will you use? You will use map. And in this you have a hash map, linked hash map, tree map, and all, again with their own feature. But common is all the implementation of hash map will store the value as key value. Okay, and in queue all the implementation class will support first in first out. List means ordered. There will be an order, like whatever if you have first inserted this, you should be able to access it using some index or not, right? And it can have some duplicates. So like this, each one will have a common feature as well as their own unique features. We'll study each of the interface, the implementation classes of each of the interface in detail. Like, although we have covered this, but it's better we go through each one of them because that are very widely used. First, we'll study about the list interface. Okay. List interface is declared like this. That's how Java has declared it. In which package this list interface is present? What is the package name? Java.util. Very good. Okay. So what is list? List is an ordered collection, the sequence. Why ordered? Because the thing that you have inserted first, ideally in an array, right? If you have inserted first, it will remain at 0 index, and then next one will go to this, and then next one will go to this. So we know, okay, this, if we have to get the first element, what is the index is, and we can easily get it using the index, right? That's why we say it is an ordered. So the classes which is implementing this list interfaces have control over where in the list the element is inserted, right? Because let's suppose if I define an array with size 10, then I have a control to put an element at this index. Let's suppose I want to put at 6th index. I have a control, right? I can refer like this and put the element at the 6th index. And if I declare a size of 10, can I access the element by 10? Can I do A of 10? If the size is 10, can I do A of 10? Yes? Yes? Huh? Very good. So here, then you have to say, no, you can't access it because 10 is what? Index. Can index be 9? No, sorry, can index be 10? No, right? So you have to say, like, you know the things, you have to just say it. You know, it is not valid because the index starts from 0 and the last one is size minus 0 or length minus 1. Sorry, size minus 1 or length minus 1 because it starts from 0. So elements are accessed by an integer index which starts from 0 till size minus 2, minus 1, or minus 0? Minus 1. And elements can be searched. List may contain duplicate elements. We have studied about all these methods. So these are the list interface. Some of them are default, but most of them are list interface abstract methods. What do we mean by abstract methods? These methods will be implemented by the classes which are implementing this list interface. So by the interface, by the list interface, by exposing this abstract methods, it is providing a contract. Okay, whatever the classes are, they should implement these methods, right? So all the classes which are implementing this list interface should provide this an add method, which will append the element to the end of this list. Whatever the implementation class is, they will all have an add method. Okay. What does add do? It appends the element to the end of the list. What is E here? What concept we are using here by specifying E? Huh? Why I have not specified a data type like this int? What is E doing here? What is this concept called? Huh? Dynamic, yes. What is this concept called that we studied? Generic. It's a generic because you might add an string also. You might add an integer, long, character, or any other object also, custom object. So you don't know the type that you will add. That's why it is dynamically, you have to dynamically provide the type. That's why it is used generic. It is a generic method. Add in index E element. Let's take an example. Then we'll understand with the example itself. Okay, for the list interface, there are 4 implementation classes. Okay, array list. Array list is a dynamically resizable array. Can we resize the same array, the primitive array? Can we do it? Once we define the size, can we change the size? No. But in the array list, we can change the size, because if you see the declaration, we'll just see you are not specifying any size. But when you declare the array, you have to specify the size in the beginning itself. But here you are not specifying a size. It means it uses a dynamically sizable array. The access is very fast. Have you read about big O notation? Time complexity, no, in the algorithm. So it won't make any sense. But O1 means in the one step, you can perform any operation. Let's suppose, like, it's an algorithm, but I think you should know it. Let's suppose you have 10 books to pick. You have 10 let's suppose you have 5 books with you, right? And the book is upside down. The book is not showing you the title, which book it is. Okay, you don't know by seeing the book that which book is this. So one is science, one is social science, math, Hindi, and English. Now, if I ask you to pick the maths book, how many, in worst case, how many operations, how many book picking will be required to give me a maths book? At max 5. 25. Why 25? 5 na? You will take one book, see whether it is maths or not. If it's not math, then you will pick another book. And if there are total 5 books, you will pick 5 books at worst case, right? So here, if there are 5 books, how many operations you are doing? You are doing 5 operations. Now, same are the books, but if I again turn the book, now the front page of the book is visible to you. Now, in how many operations you will give me a maths book? Huh? 3? One, na? One, right? Now the title is front of you. Why you will pick any other book? You will get me a book in a single operation. So which one is fast? So say Ringle, right? Like it is a daily use. Like you use it, all this algorithm data structure you use in your daily life. When you are arranging your clothes, when you are arranging your books, how do you arrange it? So that the titles are visible, right? That's how you arrange it. You don't arrange some other way that you can't see the book. You arrange your clothes based on like the section and all, right? So if I say O1 means it is doing it in a single operation. Okay, ON means here, if you have 10 elements, then it may require 10 operations. Like here, the N is 5 in this case. So to give me a book, it required ON, means O 5 operations. You have to traverse through all the elements. Okay. So that's the basic thing about the time complexity, and that's like, since it will be used here, so that's why I have explained you. You got it right? How we are accessing it. Fast random access, because in a single access you will get a element, and the insertion and deletion in the middle of the list is slow. It requires on. Why it requires on? Because let's suppose you have 5 books. Okay, you have in your shelf you have 5 books. Okay, one slot is for one book each. You have total 6 slots. Now in the first 5 slots you have inserted 5 books. Now now if I want, I got a new book. If I want to put it in the second slot, what I have to do? Remove what? No, I want to keep the order. If the order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now if I am picking 6th book, the order should be 1, 6 and 2, 3, 4, 5. So what you will do? Huh? Replace how? What you will replace? Huh? Sorry, what? No, you can't resize in array. Let's suppose you are not able to resize. Visualize na, in your rack you have 6 slots, and in the first 5 slots you have 5 books, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you have sixth book. You have to place it between first and second book. Order should be same. 2, 3, 4, 5 should be same. What you will do? Simple, like 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's empty. Now you have 6th book here. Now you have to place it here. What you will do? Like, tell me, na, like, what you will do? I wanted 1, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. What you will do? First step. Don't see here, visualize it in your home, visualize it. How do you do? It's a basic scenario. You must have faced it. What do you do? You don't, no, you can't do it. This is the thing. You can't, will you buy a rack? You have one position empty, na? You have one position empty. Why will you buy a rack? You must be arranging your books, right? Or someone else do it for you? Maybe, like, I don't know. But I have done for myself. What do you think? You will be stuck at your home. You will be stuck looking at the books shelf. Yeah, what the task it is. Like, your parents, they'll go to your school, college. You can't do this. Arre. See, yeah, like, if I have a book, what I will do? I will pick 5th book, will place it at the last. See, this is the scenario. What I will do? I will pick 5th book, will place it at the last. Yes or no? I have a 4th. Now I have this position empty. What I will do? I will pick which book? I will pick 4th book. Place it here. Now, which book I will pick? Huh? 3 book. Do it here. Now. Do it here. Now. I will place 6th book. Right? That's how you will do it, right? How many operations are needed? If the book size is 6, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there are 5 operations. So that's why it's like an array only. If you have to pick, or if you have to insert any elements, anything in between, it will be done in an ON time. N is the size or length of your data structure. Okay. So array list is not synchronized. It's not thread safe. So it is suited. It is why it is suited. It is suited for scenarios when you need a fast access and fast iteration. And the modifications to the existing array list is very less. Okay. There you will use array list. So all this linked list. So you, like, if you have not worked on data structure, you are not aware of linked list also. Are you aware of linked list? So what's a linked list? What it is? So here, so here in the memory, right? Here in the computer, these all are present in the adjacent memory location. That's why you know after this memory, next will be this value. But in the linked list, they are not present in the contiguous memory. Okay. So now if I am on first element, I need to go to the second element. What information is required at the first element to get me to the second element? What is required? Address of second. Now at 2, I should have an address of 3. At 3, I should have an address of 4. And if the fourth is the final one, I don't need to have any address. That's how I'll be able to traverse. I'll traverse it, right? That's what we call a linked list, where the elements are not stored contiguous in the contiguous memory. They are stored in a different parts of memory. It just each element will have an address of an other element so that they can traverse. Okay. Now tell me, if I have to see in the case of array, right? This is an array. If I want third element, how will I get it? Address of 2. I'll just do 2, right? That's because if I know the first address, I can easily get the second address, third address, fourth address, fifth address, right? Because these all are adjacent. But here, if I need to get to 3, let's suppose if I need to get to 4, what I have to do? Get the address of third. Okay, because third contains the address of 4. Now from where to get the address of 3? 2. Now from where to get the address of 2? 1. So I have to start from 1. Right? So you're seeing I have to always traverse through the complete list to get me any element. So tell me, to access any element, which is faster? This is faster or this is faster? Linked list is faster or array is faster? Array is faster, right? Because you don't need to traverse each element. You just need to know one address and then you can get any address out of that one address. So that's why array is always faster. It is done in one operation, but here you need to traverse through each of the element. It is in n operation. So that's the basic concept of linked list. In the linked list, in this class, it uses a doubly linked list to store the elements. What is doubly linked list? It is a single linked list. What is doubly linked list? No, doubly linked is it will have 2 address. Now here in this list, we were only having address of next element. Now in the doubly linked list, it will have address of its previous also. So now 2 will have an address of 1 as well as its next. Now 3 will have an address of 2 as well as its next. Okay. So now if you want, you can traverse through last also. Like in this case, in the single linked list, you can always traverse or get the element from the first. But here you can also get an element from last, because last will have an address of its previous one. Okay. So from both the direction, you are able to traverse the list. That's the doubly linked list. So the linked list class, it uses a doubly linked list to store the elements. So if you want to access, it is slow. It takes O(n) time. We have seen the insertion and deletion at the beginning and at the end is very fast. It is in O(n) time, right? Because at the beginning we have an address, and the end also will have an address, so it will be very fast. It is not synchronized and not thread safe. It is best suited for scenarios where there is frequent insertion and deletion of elements. Let's suppose if I have to delete this 3, what I have to do, I can just remove this address of 3 from here and address of from here. So all these are part of data structure. So it's fine if you're not getting it, but I have still explained in a very basic term so that you can get basic concept about array and linked list. These are very widely used. But you got to know, right, what is address, how the linked list will work. Now there is another class called vector. it again uses a dynamic resize array similar to array list. Here also access is in O1 time. Insertion deletion operation is similar to array list. So it means they are also storing the elements in a contiguous side by side memory. But the difference between array list and vector is these are synchronized. That is, these are thread safe. It is suitable for application requiring thread safe operations. So please note, if like we have seen, right, when we were studying about multiple threading, if we make the methods synchronized, it will hinder its performance, right? Because only one thread can access the method at a time. But if the method is not synchronized, it's not synchronized, it means multiple threads can access that method. And if 10 objects, let's suppose if 10 threads perform operation in all in 1 second, as well as if one thread perform operation in 1 second at a time. So 10 thread will take 10 seconds. Are you getting it? Like if 10 threads can perform the operation which takes 1 second simultaneously, that operation will execute in 1 second if everything is happening in parallelly. But if operation is happening in a synchronized manner, that is one by one, then it will take 10 seconds. So it means if you make a method synchronized or thread safe, restricting only one thread to access that method, then the performance will be impacted. It will be slow. Now, what is stack? It extends this vector class and it represents a last in first out. You know stack, right? So stack is whatever you have put last, it is the first one to be taken out. The access time is similar to vector, which is an over one. It will have push and pop operations at the top of the stack. It is synchronized, so it is thread safe. Okay. So you all know every class is performing or doing a is having a different purpose. It is for linked list, for efficient insertion and deletion, array list. Vector purpose is different, stack is different to get in if you are last in first out implementation. Now let's do an exercise where we'll go through the methods and example of array list. Array list, we have studied the array list. Yeah, it will have a dynamically resize elements. They can be added, removed, and all. They can store duplicate and null elements. We'll do an exercise. So see, I have covered all the methods that is used in array list and as well as in the list. So if you see add, so since these are the implementation classes, they will be overriding the add. So through the example, you'll get to know what these operations are doing. First, we'll check about array list. Okay, we debug it. Here, what we have done, we have created an array list, okay, of type string. Now, what add will do? Currently, array list has how many elements? 0. Add will add an element to the beginning or to the end? To the end. So array list, you have add 2 elements. The first is Alice, Bob is second. So to the end, it will add an element. So after adding an element, the first is Alice because it is ordered. It is maintaining the order of insertion. Since Alice is inserted first, the Alice will come first, then Bob, and then Charlie. Okay. Now array list dot add, and then we provide a index here and the element. What it will do? It will add between Alice and Bob. So if you see, so dev is added now between Alice and Bob. So now the index has changed. So earlier the index of Bob was 1, now it has changed to 2. Okay. So that's what add we have seen. What add will do? Add index we have seen, it will add that element to that particular index. What get will do? Get an index. It will get an element present at that index. Which element is present at index 2? Bob. The Bob is present, right? Alice is at 0, Dave is at 1, and Bob is at 2. Okay. And set, what set will do? Here, set index and element. What set will do? Here I am doing set at index 2. I am setting this element Eve at index 2. It means it will replace Bob. So see, it has replaced Bob with Eve. So set will do, it will replace the element at the specified position with the specified element. Now, I want to remove. ArrayList.remove index. What it will do? What it will do? Remove index. It will remove. I have removed and I have passed 1. What it will do? Which element it will remove? Dave. Very good. After removal, it is removing a dev, and after removal, see, it will look like this. Dot size will give me a size of an array. What is the size of an array? 3. 4. Why? 3, right? We've removed it. That's why it became 3. So size will become 3. Now contains, what contains will do? It will search. It will search all the elements whether the element which is passed to is present or not. Now it will return true or false? True, because Alice is present. So it will return true. What clear will do? It will remove all the elements and size will become 0. Very good. Now it has removed all the elements. Now again, I am adding the elements back to check other functionality. Now, what iterator will do? Iterator will return me an iterator which will, using which I will iterate through all the elements of array, right? So now what I'm doing, has next will return true if it has any element to iterate to, and dot next will give me that element. So I'm looping it, and then it is printing Alice, Bob, and Charlie that I have added. Okay. Dot list iterator, it implements, the array list implements a list iterator also, which again iterate through the list. It is only for the list. But if you see iterator, it is for all the collections. All the collections were implementing which interface? Iterable. Okay. Now it is there to iterate through the element again. Alice, Bob, and Charlie, we are iterating the element. List iterator we have seen, it is used to get a list iterator to traverse it. Okay. Now, but the difference is array list dot. What we have done, array list dot list iterator, and we have provided an index 1. What does it mean? It will iterate from index 1. That's why it has not printed Alice. But in the iterator, we cannot provide an index. That's why it's an additional benefit of using list iterator, where you can specify from which index I want to iterate to. Okay. Dot to array, what it will do? It will convert or return me an object array from this array list. You're getting it? It will give me an array of an object. And here, what is the type of object? Type of object would be the type of element which is stored in array list, right? So what it to array will do is it will pick all the elements which is stored in array list, and then it will convert that into an array of object, and will pick and fill each array with the element of array list. So now, what is the type of this object? The type that will be stored here would be string, right? Array list is containing string, right? So now if I see the size of array, it will be 3. And these are the elements which is present in each. Now that's how I am traversing an array. Traversing an object array. Got it? So that was the basic functionality for the array list. So iterator we have seen, clear we have seen, list iterator to iterate it, all this. Remove all, what remove all will do? It will remove the list of all the elements that are present in the collection. Okay. So let's suppose here I have created an array list of 3 element, array list 2, what I'm gone, power gone. There is some power issue. Or can you do one